Good day, and thank you for allowing us to be here with you today. My name is Naturankah, the higher self aspect through to the 8th dimension. Who Deanna is developing into growing into, and also attracting my spirit entity into her as she grows into me. I draw closer to her. And we wanted to talk about timelines. We wanted to talk about the non-linearity of timelines. Although you all conceptually want to understand what that means, you do not understand how it works, how it is possible, and what it truly means. When you hear the term time is an illusion, but yet here you are experiencing it from day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, second to second, and moment to moment. And you've heard the terminology, live in the moment. The future is here and now. And other cliche sayings to help your conscience accept and grow into a larger consciousness. For your conscience to grow into the highest consciousness. That is where the terminology waking up comes from, because you are not all of humanity is quite aware of its consciousness. It is aware of its conscience. It is aware of the reality in front of it, the physicality in front of it. And because it moves so seemingly slow from your physical perspective, it is hard to believe into the miracle of possibilities. And we reminded Deanna that your life changes in every single moment. And it does not go so far off one way or off the tracks another way to where an opportunity is completely lost. No opportunity is ever completely lost. It is the programming and the cultural acceptance that once you are at a certain age, you cannot do a certain thing anymore because you have witnessed its evidence in the past. But if the past and the present and the future are all connected and time is an illusion, then how can you change your reality from your present moment? And we want you to understand that it is not the moment that you live in, building on top of one another, that creates timelines. In your perspective, it does, because you seemingly go from point A to point B, birth and death. And then there's all the moments in between. And that is what you consider to be a timeline. But time does not work like that. Time actually works on the waves of energy or emotion. Energetic emotions. So when you live in the moment and you are feeling joy, you are living that joy in every possible realm, in every possible scenario, in every possible past lifetime, future lifetime, every possible dimension, every possible point in the universe that has experienced joy. Any other being, anything that is in the moment of joy is a timeline. Joy is its own timeline, and it is eternal. Just as is despair. And if you are choosing to live in a moment of despair, you are living that in every body, in every moment, in every aspect, in every perspective, in every awareness of all that exists. You are connected to that. And those are the different timelines of possibilities. And you live all of them all at once. And you experience all of them all at once. But it is very difficult to experience one timeline and another timeline. For example, to be in despair and then experience joy in the same moment. It is not impossible, but it is not very easy for you to do yet. And so there is a possibility that seems more doable for humanity to go from a state of despair to reaching a state of joy within minutes, moments, hours, days, whatever the gap feels like to you. But you are able to go from one to another. And so you are a time traveler. And it is the regulation and the awareness of the emotions that the collective is coming upon now. There was a shaking up. There was a massive shift. There was a massive awakening. And yet most of you are still in the shadows. And that is okay. That is good. That is normal. Because you are riding the waves. You are experiencing different timelines within all of that space. And each time you bounce back and forth from higher and lower emotions, but get to know the emotions more and more, and then decide which ones you prefer more and more, and then really begin to be able to live into choosing your moments, choosing your emotions, choosing what you will live in the moment, and knowing that you have the power to jump into joy at any second, and you can go from despair to joy in the same moment. That is a possibility for you. But it's okay if it only happens moments later. It's okay if it happens minutes later, hours later, days later, weeks later, months later. It doesn't matter what you consider to be a timeline in your human perspective, whether it is 1 second or 1 year or longer. That you are able to get back to that space. You have the ability and the power to get back to your joy, to get back to your love, to get back to your knowing, to get back to your truth. And anytime you fall away from that and experience something else, it is never a punishment. Never, ever, ever once was it ever a punishment. But it was an opportunity for you to decide what you prefer. And it is okay if it is not easy for you to go from despair to joy. It is okay. It is a part of the process. We also want to bring to your attention, in a positive light, how your trajectory changes by the most minuscule action, by not just you, but by the microbes that exist on your skin. Ta'ariush. Because you can conceptualize and understand that if a traumatic experience was to happen and you were to lose a loved one, that would change the trajectory of your life forever, or seemingly forever. You now have a different reality, something that you cannot change, something that is traumatic, something that is emotionally charged, that needs to be processed and alchemized, that will eventually change you and develop you into a different version of yourself. You understand that. But just as that something of that magnitude has that much power to change your life, so does your every moment and your actions and your inactions and everything around you in your environment, their actions and their inactions. And we don't want this to be an overwhelming and overstimulating concept, but more of a comfort to know that you are not the same being you were moments ago. You are brand new in every moment. And there is something to be celebrated and rejoiced in, that knowing that you are always new. So we want to leave this with you, to meditate on, to ask your guidance, your higher self, and all that is for you, to show you your multidimensionality, so you can become more aware of your moment to moment and begin to come into your power of choosing that moment, no matter what the circumstances are around you. The circumstances around are not going to get much easier, in the sense of, if they only, then I could. But they do get easier no matter what. They do. When you start to choose your moments and choose how you show up in those moments and choose the energy to move forth with. And when you come across an energy that does not feel good, it is not a punishment and it is not something to be cast aside. It is something to be alchemized. It is something to be transformed. You are the conduit. You have the power and the ability. But you must sit. You must sit with these emotions. You must sit with the uncomfortableness. You must accept it. For you to be able to choose the higher frequencies. Because when you begin to accept those lower frequencies and choose higher frequencies. The lower frequencies no longer exist. Not that they are punished to themselves, but they rise. They rise with you. And when they rise, you no longer have access to experience that lower negative energy because you helped it. You assisted in its ascension, in its knowing, in its understanding of itself. This is what we are here to do for you. And we ask you to pay it forward. We ask you, are you willing to step up and befriend your emotions and be a time traveler? A time traveler with great navigation and leadership. So that we all ascend a little higher together. Ka'arona tatai. Isiri tuku urusht anetid. Ani kara urus. Ha toria sataka. Ha osuria taka matu. Ha asuri anakuya harianakai. Anara turi karata anatoria takaratu uram. Aratu uriata kurianata umar. Tarar au kurianata ar. Tara hariata kara hariata karya hatu par. Kariem. Shuta. Sirikik. Naram. Siuna. Sino sakaru utisht, itaru nto a iranik, a soniata kuura, a soniana atakuna, a soniana takuna. We are forever grateful for this time together. We are one, as above, so below. And so be it. Kariu Pata. We love you so much.